This past weekend I went to Kachess Ridge to do a mountain bike ride. The ride was about a black diamond that's about 6.5 miles long. It has a really nice, it's just a very short downhill section, then you got to go back uphill to go over the ridge, and then once you go over the ridge you're pretty much going downhill the entire time. But to get there I had to ride 10 miles first along fire roads to get up to the top before I started. Once I got to the top of the ridge and entered into the trail, it was pretty much smooth sailing. Smooth sailing mostly until I actually was coming down on the very end. The last mile is this very steep section.
Pick your line, look for it, and it is not possible they should deviate from the order. And blow your tire.
My tire slipped along the rock, and here I blew my tire. So that sound that you heard was basically my tire being unseated from the rim. So I had an opportunity to basically do a impromptu how to fill up your tire and check your tire for any tears in the wilderness. So I basically used a CO2 canister for quickly filling it. And a CO2 canister, CO2 pump, you basically have a little CO2 canister and you put it into the pump. It has a trigger. When you pull the trigger, it will puncture the CO2 and then fill your tire. So for a tubeless tire, that's a mountain bike tire that has no tube inside it. So without a tube, you need to actually get air in really fast so that you can get the bead of the tire to seat along the rim quickly. So if you use a hand pump, then generally that's not going to do it for you. So you need either a compressor, or for the backcountry riding, you need a CO2 to quickly fill it. And sometimes it may not fill the first time, which I've had happen to me before. So you'll actually might have to go through 2 or 3 canisters. So usually when I'm riding, especially backcountry, I'm carrying anywhere from 6 to 7 of them with me. I usually have 3 taped onto my bike, and then I'll put another, 2 or so in my back pockets, and I always have one inside the canister ready to go. So here I'm actually rolling the tire around. I'm looking to see if there was any cuts in the tire. My biggest fear was that the rock, which actually looked a little bit sharp, that it had sliced my tire open. If that happened, I have a backup tube that I carry, and I also have duct tape that I can use to put on the inside to try and basically hold the tube in to get me out. So I had no problems. There were no cuts in the tire, so I was able to just fill it up quickly. So here I'm showing that basically I'm going to put it on, pull the trigger, which will puncture the CO2, and then fill up the tire. Let's see.
She looks good.
So it filled it up on one go, so I was lucky. And the tire was actually cold. Not that cold. But the CO2 canister had some ice and stuff on it, and it was a 80+ degree day, and with all the biking, I was pretty hot, so I took the canister and rubbed it all over my head to cool myself down, because it felt awesome. So at about this point, I was probably less than half an hour left to get down the mountain. And so then basically I had once I got down to the bottom, I had a nice rolling section all the way back to the car. So I hope you enjoyed that. I have some more video coming up. I'm going to show a little bit more of the bike ride. I have a longer version coming, but I thought you'd be interested in this one first and seeing how to basically repair your tire in the backwoods. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoy these videos, to subscribe. I'd love to know that you're watching. Thanks.